Hi, this is Brad Seacott with Terracom. This is a continuation video in our series on the scripts that we wrote for the Viavi TB5800 and ONA800/1000. In this video, we're going to focus on the file parser. As I said before, the file parser for the TB5800 and the file parser for the ONA800/1000 are very similar, if not the same. Obviously, they take different commands because the instruments are a little different. But we'll focus on the 5800 for this example. Okay, so let's go ahead and minimize that. I've got a VNC here, and I want to make sure, first of all, so the file parser is a little different. Let's see what I want to change my IP address. So let's go ahead and set the IP address in the file parser. We can also put in explicitly what the IP address is, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that as well. So let's go ahead and say Python 3 tbird 5800 file parser .py. And I'm going to put in -H for help. I believe that's what it is. Yes. All right. So what this does is it gives you a list of arguments that you can use with this script. All right. There's a very common way to do things in Python. So what I would like to do here is I would like to explicitly tell it what IP address I have. Now I have some defaults written into this program just to make it easier to have things work. You can see if you've watched our video on the command line, debug equals false turns off the screen when we automate it. If you set debug equal to true, then you'll be able to see the screen. Default app. We set the default app to this application. We set the default IP to this. We set the default file name. And certainly you can overwrite that with these arguments here, or you can put them in. You can change the defaults in the program, and you add your own defaults if you'd like. And you can see how he did this, right? He defaults, and then you can put a default in here if you whatever it is that you'd like to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring up that command, and I'm going to type in I space 192.168.1. and let's check to make sure we know what that IP address is. And you do that by going to System and then Wi-Fi or LAN. I've got this on the Wi-Fi. So it's 192.196 or 168.1.19. Okay. Let's go to 19. Boom. Okay. Now, what's happening here? Let's go back to the test mode. It's loading up the application that is the default, which is the 100 gig application. Now, let's pull up a list of what the commands are that this guy's going to run while this is loading. Okay, so it's still launching. I'll give us a second to do a little work here. And you can see what this is doing. It has started running commands, and I'm going to show you what these commands are from. So this is the text. This is the default text file that those commands are from. So let's go ahead and make this a little bigger. Okay, so the first thing it did is it started this application, put a delay of 5 seconds. It asked us what the it asked us for the ID here, so on the module, and it returned Finisar. And so what it's doing right now is it's running just some peeks and pokes, some skippy commands. Okay. And then once it's done, it'll exit the TB5800 remote mode. Sorry about that. And then what it's going to do is it's going to output the results of all of the commands that it sent. And you can tell it where to output. You can either have it output to a file, or you can have it output to the screen, and it'll look exactly the same. Okay, so in this case, we had it output to the screen. That's the default. All right, so the first thing it did, it started this program, and that program was already running, so that was fine. It put in delay, return true, put in the Skippy command asking who the vendor is on the QSFP module that's in port 1. Right, and there it is. Put in delay, sent a peek command, sent another peek command, another peek command, another peek command. Then it turned the optic on. And when he turned the optic on, it returned no error. All right, and of course you can get. I mean, you can certainly parse on these things and make sure that you're not getting errors and things like that. Okay. And so basically all it does is run down through this list, and you can put anything in this list that you'd like, and that can be a pretty powerful thing, especially if you want to set up say you wanted to set up a module into FEC mode, and you had some fancy ways to do that with peeks and pokes. This is a really good way to do that. Okay. If there's any other questions, please give us a call or reach out to us at bccot@terracom.com, or go to our webpage, www.terracom.com. Hope this was helpful.